When designing and building a software product, at some point, you have to let it fly. There's a lot of great reasons to do this, but the one I want to talk about today is getting it into the hands of actual users. You can research and plan as much as you like, but ultimately users are going to uncover things you never imagined. In this video, I want to cover 3 things in the RISA software, where I lead the design and building, that came about from observation and requests from financial advisor users. RISA links, or how clients and prospects access the assessment. Welcome page customization, or what they see when they sign up. And access to the report, or what they see when they're done. By way of reminder, the RISA is an assessment for retirement income preferences. It helps individuals uncover how they're going to be most comfortable sourcing retirement income. For advisors, we look to have it as the warm handshake with a client or prospect, helping get the conversation kicked off in the right way. To accomplish this, we thought of a number of ways to get the assessment into those clients and prospects' hands, and ultimately the first version was an email system. The advisor would enter the user's name and email off access to the assessment. From this, 2 issues, or you might call them opportunities, arose. Firstly, email is a nightmare. Wrong addresses, spam filters, corporate filters. Despite its maturity, email seems to be terribly difficult to get correct. Ultimately, we were not having the delivery success that we would have wanted. Second, email works one-to-one. I have client, I have email, I send RISA. But this didn't capture the opportunity that advisors had, where many of them have a mailing list or many of them have a newsletter. Not to mention websites, social media, mailers, webinars, the works. Sending RISAs one by one didn't really capture the opportunity of a larger influx of potential customers that these larger marketing channels represented. So what was discovered by advisors was an email system had deliverability issues and didn't scale. From this uncovered demand sprung the RISA link system. The solution we devised did away with the one-to-one idea and instead built a system where the advisor can create unique URLs, each with certain question sets and messaging, more on that later, that give them greater flexibility in their use. Want to include an assessment in your email footer? Create a link. Want a different set on your website? New link. Webinar coming up and want help capturing and understanding attendees? You guessed it, another RISA link. We've since seen them deployed on everything from radio ads to podcasts to webinars, physical mailers, and websites and social media. The demand and discovery resulted in a much more flexible system, and every day we're a little bit surprised by the creative ways that advisors are using the links. I mentioned messaging when I was talking about the RISA links, and this was another insight that we gained from advisors using the system. In the first version of the RISA links, a firm could set a welcome message, and then every time they created a link and a prospect signed up, they would be greeted with that firm's one welcome message. I mentioned the wide array of ways that the advisors had been using the RISA links. However, no matter where they came from, they saw that same welcome message. And thus, the opportunity presented itself. Given the different contexts for which they were accessing these links, why not allow for custom messaging to speak specifically to them? Idea being that I might want to talk to someone who came to my webinar a little differently than the clients on my current newsletter. Thus, we built additional inputs for each link. We allowed the advisors to customize the welcome message for each RISA link they had so they could tailor the messaging for the context. We also enabled custom messaging and links at the end of each report, so they could talk through specific next steps for a particular use case, along with linking out to different calendars or pages depending on whatever action they wanted. Super useful, and another great improvement driven by the users. Lastly, and not too far from the others, was an ability for the advisor to control whether or not the client or prospect actually saw their own report. As links went out and advisors started to receive these reports about their clients' retirement income preferences, they wanted to have more granular control over the onboarding flow with these folks. Specifically, the RISA was turning into a great driver for meetings and follow-up meetings. So I'd like to explore working with each other. Let's start this way. I'll send you a RISA, we'll uncover some of your preferences, and then come on in for a meeting and we'll walk through it together. Subtle, but ultimately very powerful. This proved to be massively popular with advisors who now had that ability to tweak their client flow exactly how they wanted. It is a great selling point that I bring up on most of my demos. So there you have it. We let the RISA fly into the wild and immediately started to get back a bunch of feedback about how to make it more useful and more powerful for our advisor clients. Seeing these success stories and use cases never fails to bring a smile to my face. And the greatest part is feedback is still coming in, it's still evolving and getting better by the day. Remember, at some point, you're going to have to let that product launch. And if you're able to work with some directions and guidance from your users, you'll have a much better chance for a smooth landing. Until next time, cheers.